everybody. It is episode 951 of Pop Culture Crisis.
Thank you, but I'm Bash.
Yep, crisis party to start the show. Rip to my eardrums.
We are not having the same technical difficulty on which we ended the show yesterday, where it just kept cycling over and over and over again.
I did manage to fix that, but I'm kind of, I'm weary now.
Oh, no.
Hold, please.
I spoke way too soon.
Okay, yeah.
Are we okay?
Yeah, so yesterday I was able to figure out the problem. I had to reset it a specific way, but it's something that if it was to happen again, I would have to do off air. So if anybody wants to ruin our day, you'd have to get us like a bunch of crisis parties in a row.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Well, that was a little bit anxiety inducing for a minute.
You want to read that 20 there before we even get started?
Yes, but I'm Bash.
That 100 there, not 20.
Just had a birthday. Thanks for another year of great commentary. It's great to see people getting along despite having different views. You two are an inspiration. Keep up the great work.
That's us.
You know, the bar is shockingly low, but we're really like just a beacon of building bridges.
That's
and
us.
Yeah, making conversation happen across the aisle. One libtard and one conservatard join forces for the most powerful pop culture discussions that are on offer on the internet. Yeah.
But Bash, thank you so much and happy birthday. He's been in the chat like since the beginning, so thank you so much for that,
birthday.
man.
It's so funny when it's your birthday and you give us a gift, but
yeah, seriously.
we appreciate it.
It should be somebody's birthday every day. So guys, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brett, and I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Assume that they already know who we are.
That is true.
Hi, crisis actors. It's Mary. And guys, today we're crashing out. We're having a rough go of it. It's the seasonal affective on top of technical difficulties on
Getting out of here when it's dark out.
Yeah, that is just so bleak. It makes everything feel doomed.
But yesterday it was nice because it was really nice out.
Well, it was warmer than
it was not like
I
walked over to do IRL and it was like in a t-shirt and I mean, granted, I do that anyways. I walk at a brisker pace if it's colder out, but it was nice.
We're crashing out a little bit, and I'll tell you, the Starbucks. I don't care what Dave Ramsey says. It's always worth the $7 for that latte that makes you happy in the morning. It always is. Every penny. It's always worth it.
I can't say that I do the $7 at Starbucks, but now that I do daily morning cold brew, you know, the caffeine from coffee is different. It's a different feeling than energy drink caffeine. It is
now
superior.
You just need to get on the matcha train.
That's never going to happen.
No, you thought the coffee would never happen. The matcha is going to happen eventually.
It took me till I was 39. So yes, maybe when I'm 70.
The matcha caffeine, it's clean, no crash. It's the nice umami flavor.
I think that's what it is. I think that when I drink the coffee, there isn't like a crash afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the amount, but it never really affected me that way. Like when I drink a lot of coffee, I don't feel anxious and jittery like people say they do. So I always found that confusing. But for me, it's just the taste, and it's the Gen Z apathy that you can taste in the drink. And, you know, their tears are kind of adding another flavor profile as well. Like the tears that they're pouring into your drink while they're making it really
the tears
makes
of
my day.
A life of no home ownership.
Fuels me for the next 17 hours. Rural Conservative sent us a 20 update. Can corn harvest 2025 get any worse? Absolutely. Electrical trouble with my dad's combine. I might go get that rabbit suit just yet. Well, don't crash out and run around in a rabbit suit yet. I think you should hold out hope. Sorry to hear that corn harvest is going so badly for you.
I would like to know, how long does that last? Like, so we drive by so many, like on my way to work, I drive by so many not cornfields, but you know, farming developments out here. Like I was like, I should have been doing like time lapses in my car, like driving through them like once, not like every day, but like once a week drive by, because there's so much change in the landscape on your left and right side, where the way I drive into work, and make like a time lapse that like two people would look at, but it would make me feel better.
Yeah. We have another 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Why do I get the funny feeling that the mechanism that makes your crisis party, crisis meter, party count, and formerly Money Gun is a bunch of different software that is the computer equivalent of duct tape and baling wire? It is! You get that funny feeling because it's kind of true.
It's a Google Doc mixed with an automation program that Chris rigged up for us like 3 years ago. I don't necessarily agree with that because for the most part it runs pretty consistently every day.
It is pretty reliable, but then when we remark on how reliable it is, then it decides to be a problem.
Like the issue is that like what happens is sometimes you get 2 crisis parties at once where like one is about to go and then somebody sends in a large super chat. It messes with it. I feel like that would happen with a lot of things. Like what is a podcaster to do? Should I like build my own from scratch? I'm not that smart.
And what is a woman?
Yes, exactly. So, but you know what? Duct tape, bubble gum, it's all held together. And the money guns didn't stop working. It's just that the money guns weren't visible on camera. In fact, the money guns are right next to us. And if we were to put money in them right now, they would still work.
The camera angles are better than they used to be, even if you can't see the money guns, because you guys obviously don't know this, but it used to be that we had barely enough room between us to like actually make eye contact while talking.
I had to like look over a camera to look at Mary.
It was often difficult for us to even make eye contact during the show because of the fact that our cameras were in the middle between us. So now that's not the case anymore. I'm good with making that trade-off.
Yep. I mean, I wanted to go farther. I wanted to get like it would be harder in here given the wiring in this building, but I wanted to get ceiling lights rather than the old studio lights in here just because I hit one at least once a day. And depending on the day and the mood I'm in, that can be very, very annoying. Like when you catch your backpack on a doorknob.
But on a day like this, it's crash out time.
There, exactly. It's going to happen eventually. Like at least at
you
one point. You
literally just said like I think I'm going to crash out on the show.
Not on this show, but some show. Yeah, eventually
Someone
I'm going to.
else's show maybe.
I'm too rational to not have at least one crash out in my lifetime where I get canceled because I say a bunch of stuff that I don't mean.
I'm excited for that when that day comes.
I'll turn into like Joe Pesci in Home Alone because you can't swear.
That's gonna be you.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. Again, hit the like button on this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. We've been growing fast again. We're about to hit like what 377 or 378.
Good for us.
A lot of subscribers, and we're thankful for each.
376K right now, but yeah, 377. Here we come.
And we're grateful for all of you guys. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Number one being Aurora. This announcement that Disney is bringing back Sleeping Beauty with a modern twist. We will let you know what that means during the segment. There's a little bit of a bait and switch.
I hear mariachi in the distance.
Yes, it's all in sepia tones. So
smelling Taco Bell already.
So we're going to talk about that. There's also this tragic story that is, I guess, a bit dubious because it's hard to source, but I think it's worth having the discussion anyways. Adult film star Lana Rhoades is said to have been tearfully requesting that all her past work, her entire body of work, the entire filmography be pulled off the internet.
Her entire body of her body of work, essentially, yeah.
Which is she wants it removed. She wants it removed from the internet, which is of course trying to remove spit from the ocean. It's completely impossible, but you learn quickly that fast money has long-term consequences. So we're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about the greatest new movie that has ever been announced in the history of movies. Meghan Markle and Brie Larson are coming together to make a movie for the ages. It's called Close Personal Friends, and I have no doubt that it will make $1 billion at the box office. It will be an A+ on every rating system, and everyone here will love it without fail.
I feel like the only thing that could make it any better is if they attached Mindy Kaling to the project.
No, Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler, maybe. Yeah. They could have the whole, I guess, like feminist cinematic universe. Eventually.
It can be produced by Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you're ready, we can go. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. Guys, if you've been following the videos I make on my own on this channel, I've been talking a lot about David Ellison and Skydance and Paramount and the potential of them to buy Warner Brothers, which is a very, very big deal. There are other people being shopped around for the potential sale of Warner Brothers. But one of the questions that everybody has with the possibility of this sale is what happens to the things that are already in production? production? What happens to something that's already on the move, like James Gunn's DCU? One of the things that they keep talking about in all of these articles, and I do believe that there is a growing sentiment of what I call David Ellison derangement syndrome, or just Ellison derangement syndrome, EDS.
I have it.
For short. Mary has it. And the point is they're talking about how they're pushing Paramount in a more MAGA-centric direction, and what would that company, which is so heavily involved with the Trump administration via their deal with the UFC, all of this stuff, what would a James Gunn, who has severe TDS, what would his cinematic universe look like when it was under the guise of David Ellison? Now, there were initial statements made that David Ellison said that he would leave things in place and he would allow things to work as they were, but I think people find it harder and harder to believe that he would leave it alone. Like, all it takes is one call from Trump, like, I don't like this guy, I think we need to move in another direction, I think Superman needs to be made by somebody else.
Well, okay, so David Ellison gives me the creeps. I do have David Ellison derangement syndrome, just right off the bat. That's my gut feeling, is I don't like this guy. And there is a difference between someone being a Trump supporter, being MAGA, and being, on the other hand, a leech on Donald Trump's calf. Siphoning value, all that you can, out of the Trump administration, which is what he's doing. I think he's just trying to maneuver his relationship with the Trump administration toward his business goals. That has nothing to do with his values. That's why I think it's a ridiculous assumption that MAGA-coded beliefs or traditional values or patriotism have anything to do with the content that they're going to be developing at Warner Brothers if this deal goes through.
One of the reasons that this gets mentioned is because he was, before he took over the merger with Paramount, he was in charge of Skydance, which did things like Top Gun Maverick, and he's got that in the DNA of the company, that they have entertainment that's more male centric. Now, that's one of the things that they talk about.
But that's a family movie.
Yeah,
I would say it's a more family oriented, right?
Zero-G fighter pilots will always be male coded.
Close as you can get. So here's the thing: the first Top Gun is a male centric movie. Top Gun Maverick is much more saccharine, sweet, pulls at the heartstrings, very family oriented, close as you can get to mass appeal. I wouldn't even see that as male coded.
So they say that Variety highlights Ellison's moving the studio towards content for people who live outside the coastal bubbles, UFC at the White House, patriotic, action-driven franchise focus, and middle America priorities all align with a right-leaning, flag-forward tone. It'll be interesting to see if they can even find a way of differentiating themselves from the rest of Hollywood, which is already trying to wear a skin suit of middle America, a la cowboy hats and twisters, which I loved. But the point is it's never felt authentic when most of them... Cowboy LARP. It's never felt authentic when most of them do that anyways. But all of that is very much in complete contrast with James Gunn, who just made Peacemaker Season 2 with the Nazi Earth X with the flag and the swastika, right? He's not going to fall in line with those values. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. The whole point of having a studio the size of Warner Brothers or the size of Paramount is you can have many, many different properties that speak to different groups of people.
As it relates to Superman, the most that could happen is that they bring back the truth, justice, and the American way motto.
I don't even know if they can legally do that. I think that's like a copyright thing.
It's copyright?
I think it's that it's public domain now or something. I forget. They're never going to do that. They're not going to bring back truth, justice, and the American way.
If we're taking into account James Gunn's weird statements about Superman being an immigrant...
Well, that wasn't even James Gunn. That was his brother. Remember? That was Sean Gunn.
But James Gunn defended it, didn't he?
Yes.
He came right out and defended what he said, and he agreed with it.
Peacemaker Season 2 is obviously still a rebuke of middle America, and talking about Nazis in America in the year 2025 is extremely dated.
Okay, and then also, I'll try to actually bolster my gut instinct with some facts. I don't like the idea of Larry Ellison being the biggest buyer of TikTok and his son then owning this huge media conglomerate, which prospectively consists of Paramount Skydance and then Warner Brothers Discovery.
Possibly with CNN.
And yeah, of course, that means that CBS and CNN would be under the same umbrella. It's just creepy, and it looks like it's all going to be a Borg. And eventually, who knows, maybe Oracle is going to consume all of the Paramount Skydance properties.
Well, from what they said, like the competition is fierce in the Ellison household, and I'm guessing David Ellison probably has ambitions of one day being bigger than his father.
Didn't one of our super chats mention David Ellison's like lesbian sister the other day? What's her deal?
What was that? She was in charge of something else.
What is she doing? What's her name?
I don't know. But
Let me find it.
So the point being, I lost my train of thought here. Like when it comes to David Ellison,
Meghan founded Annapurna Pictures in 2011 with a financial gift from her father, which produced Zero Dark 30 and others.
When it comes to David Ellison owning, my point is that while I laugh at the people that dislike him because I think that Hollywood always needs a villain, I think the reason they made Trump a villain, and even after a fact, the reason why they made David Zaslav like a villain because he canceled Batgirl and Coyote vs. Acme, right? Is Hollywood needs the big bad in the wings. But David Ellison has definitely got instincts that I don't agree with, even if I think it's funny to watch people squirm about him. He's been very, very open about the idea that Paramount Skydance isn't just a media company, it's a media and technology company, and that they want to use AI to bolster their entertainment divisions and use it to help figure out what people want to watch, which means access to Warner Brothers isn't just access to their streaming services, which would actually do something you would love, which is to gobble it all up and make it one big thing.
For my own convenience, maybe,
yes.
Yeah.
But the problem is it just gives them access to just unbelievable amounts of data.
Yes.
And that's where the Oracle concerns come in as well.
Right.
I don't know if I buy that they're going to end up selling to Oracle, and I do think that the FTC would have something to say about all of that as well. As again, I don't think consolidation is a good thing creatively. The creatives in the industry don't like the idea of it because it hurts their job prospects and all of that stuff. But again, when you have these discussions, I have to look at this thing that says 1,000 jobs lost in Hollywood, and people like us are like, well, you guys told us to learn to code and you hate us anyways. So how many tears am I supposed to cry for you? The only tears I'm going to cry are for the good stories that audiences will lose, not necessarily for the creatives who are going to come out and say, fuck AI.
Okay, guys, I just have to tell you to Google a picture of David Ellison and then Google a picture of Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and tell me that they weren't created in the same lab. They look like clones of each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, another thing I don't like is that Paramount has blacklisted stars in Hollywood deemed overtly anti-Semitic.
To be fair,
this is weird.
From the community post, the community note on this tab says it doesn't list these faces specifically, but it listed them as likely candidates.
Okay, so it includes...
It sure looks like the likes of Javier Bardem, Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, and Mark Ruffalo won't be making movies for Paramount. That's what it says. It doesn't list them specifically.
Includes people who signed the Film Workers for Palestine pledge. Yorgos Lanthimos, Ava DuVernay, Boots Riley, Adam McKay, Olivia Colman, Mark Ruffalo. There are tons of names. Tilda Swinton, Emma Stone, Andrew Garfield, Harris Dickinson, Guy Pearce.
There was a misrepresentation that David Corenswet signed it, but apparently that was false.
That wasn't true?
That was not true, apparently.
Oh, I wonder why that was reported.
Because he works for DC
engagement?
and engagement bait.
That was engagement bait. Okay.
Before we do that, I want to draw.
Anti-profit. I think that is an anti-profit driven motive on the part of David Ellison.
I guess my point to that is, me and you had a discussion before the show of whether that became first order of importance. I guess my point is that the industry has so many people, and the thing I laugh about with most of these people is like, they will speak out all they want, but what did Ricky Gervais say? If ISIS started a film company, that you would be first in line to sign up for it. Most of them will take the paycheck wherever they can get it, and there are plenty of big name actors that I can't think of off the top of my head because I didn't write a bunch of them down, but that's only a couple of names.
Sure.
Like, there are tons of people.
They'll sign the pledge, but are they gonna boycott Paramount? Are they gonna stop working with
I don't.
Paramount and its subsidiaries? No,
I don't think that most will.
Unless they're blacklisted and don't have an option to.
But I think for David Ellison, his point is that there are so many actors out there that are worth it, that blacklisting a couple of good actors is like, Okay. Yes, I will admit, Mark Ruffalo is a good actor. Javier Bardem is a fantastic actor, but it's not the end of the world if you don't hire them at their studios. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a bad idea to do the blacklist. I think that these actors... Now, if you want to talk about actors who have gone on to do Paramount movies and then speak out at the most inopportune time, and then you want to make a pointed case like, okay, we hired Javier Bardem to do, I don't know, whatever, like Days of Thunder 2. And then he started talking about Palestine, like at the press tour. First of all, Tom Cruise would be pissed. But second of all, then I think that is like a more targeted approach. Like, we don't want to work with you, not because he could cloak it in this argument. It's not because you're pro-Palestine. It's because you talk politics at all on the press tour. But a blanket ban on actors just because they signed some type of what was it,
the Film Workers for Palestine.
I think it's a stupid idea, but I don't like. I completely understand where they're coming from, because the studio knows that people like these actors are going to be a problem. They're going to speak out at the most inopportune time, and it's incumbent on the actors to decide what matters more to them: speaking out about Palestine or getting work. If you're Javier Bardem and you've made your money, you can do whatever you want. The younger actors that do it even more so these days seem to be willing to speak out in lieu of possibly losing work, like Melissa Barrera.
But let's be realistic here. David Ellison and his father are radical ideologues when it comes to Israel. They literally think that he's got a strong relationship with Bibi Netanyahu. That being somehow vaguely pro-Palestine is anti-Semitic. They conflate those things, that any criticism of Israel is anti-Semitic. So that's a totally warped definition to go off of if they're creating some sort of shit list. I think the shit list is a bad idea. Absolutely. I'm just saying, like, if they were to do it, there was a cleverer way to go about it, but it would require them to have specific examples, and they're not going to do that. Look, Scream is going through this as well with the Melissa Barrera stuff coming back up in lieu of Scream 7 coming out, and that trailer's still doing fine, but like, that was the return of Nev Campbell. That was always going to happen. And then you've got Matthew Lillard talking about F-Ice. It's like they can't keep anything. He's not going to be blacklisted for that.
No.
None of the actors who are outspoken about leftist politics, generally speaking, are going to get blacklisted.
But the point is they're causing their movies undue stress that they don't need. I guess Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out before that anyways.
You look at this Variety report on David Ellison's first 100 days at Paramount. One of the authors is Tatiana Siegel, who also authored the piece post Snow White about how it bombed at the box office. And the main culprit they named in that article for Snow White flopping was Rachel Zegler's pro-Palestine remarks, which is deluded and insane and totally detached from reality.
It's poor framing.
Yeah.
Yes. The other thing that could kind of point you in this direction that that James Gunn is doing is there are reports that they are giving Superman and Lobo more screen time, and Supergirl. Like, James Gunn is pretty good about not needing reshoots. Like, one compliment that I will give him is, although I think he talks on the internet too much with people, it kind of ruins the mystery around the movies. A lot of people appreciate the open communication. He's very good about getting his stuff done on time. He doesn't start filming a movie until the script is done, which feels like it should be common sense. But these days it doesn't seem like it is. But if they're going back in reshoots to add more Lobo and add more Superman because they want to appeal to boys, supposedly, that could be in line with something that would be down the road with Paramount. Now, look, there are other companies that have talked about making offers. Netflix isn't interested in the terrestrial television aspects of Warner Brothers, but it would absolutely be interested in its streaming service. They have acquired the same financial firm that helped Skydance merge with Paramount, getting them financial information, perspectives, and all the things that they would need to prepare a bid. But Netflix isn't pro-acquisition the way somebody like Disney is. Like, Disney is very pro-acquisition. Buy Pixar, buy Lucasfilm, buy Marvel. That's how Bob Iger built his empire, is by buying other things rather than bolstering the stuff they've already had. Netflix is very ardently pro-building their own stuff, even if it means one season every 8 years from shows that you like. But I don't think that consolidation is a good idea. I do laugh at the people that have Ellison derangement syndrome because it reminds me of early days Trump derangement syndrome, and he's probably going to be funnier to watch than David Zaslav.
David Ellison has none of the same virtues and charms of Donald Trump. I'll just say that.
But the other thing was, I remember in the lead up to the election for 2024, and I think I mentioned this in my video on Ellison, even David Zaslav, when they asked him about like who he was voting for, I don't know if he gave an answer, but he said he appreciated that Trump was very pro acquisition and business. Like basically like if he gets into office and I want to buy something, he's not going to put the FTC in the way.
I could be misremembering, but wasn't Oracle like a huge benefactor of the Trump campaign this time around?
I mean, I know him and Larry Ellison are close, and obviously the TikTok deal was
totally pre-planned.
Yes, So, be that what it is, I'm of two minds. If I'm Paramount and I'm buying Warner Brothers, do you want to keep it running smoothly, or do you want to just drop everything and start again? There are risks to just once again dropping everything off a cliff and starting from scratch for like the 5th time. Like you've got the Snyder Bros who are excited about the idea of Netflix possibly buying Warner Brothers because Netflix has a relationship with Zack Snyder. They're like, oh man, maybe when he gets done with Rebel Moon 7, we can get a new Batman movie. I'm being facetious. He's doing his own movie right now. Right now, Zack Snyder's working on this passion project of his. But the point is either way, the acquisition doesn't really benefit the audiences anymore because it just means less content. The only thing that it's really going to save you or I is like $15 on a new streaming service. But how many of you have, other than me, have Paramount Plus anyways?
I guess let us know in the chat if you do.
Yeah, and they're losing Taylor Sheridan in 2028. So, all right, let's move on.
So I would imagine most normies don't know what an intimacy coordinator is or what they do. And it's largely a post-Me Too innovation in Hollywood. Intimacy coordinators, if you're unaware, are simply on set to pre-plan and watch and direct any scenes between actors where they're simulating intimacy in sex scenes or even kissing scenes, down to hand placement, timing. Every last detail must be pre-arranged. There's no improv allowed. And it's largely because too many actresses largely have complained that when they are filming these scenes, the counterpart, their love interest in the show or movie in question, does things that make them feel violated. They make them feel like they're getting perved on, they're getting creeped on. And they just want the intimacy coordinator there for the sake of the studio to avoid legal liability in case a Me Too situation arises from that. And there are plenty of actors and actresses who have spoken favorably about intimacy coordinators. They think it's a great thing, and they are happy that this is the industry standard now.
And the typical answer is usually it's older actors who are like, I don't want any of that. I just want to feel it out as we go.
Right.
For lack of
There are many others, yes, in the older generations who did not work with intimacy coordinators for the majority of their careers, and they think that it's ridiculous that they are on set. And that includes Gwyneth Paltrow. I think there were other comments from... Who was it? Was it Sean Penn?
There was a couple of them. There was more than a couple of them, male and female. I forget who they were now, but like it was pretty endless.
Yeah, and then it's more so the younger actresses who are in favor of having intimacy coordinators. And if you're a guy in Hollywood who says that you don't like intimacy coordinators, it does make you sound like
Sean Bean.
Oh, sorry, not Sean Penn. Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
It does make you sound creepy if you're like adamantly against it. Michael
Douglas, Toni Collette, Sean Bean, Kate Winslet, Rachel Zegler. That can't be true. What does that say? Oh no, some of these are for and some of them are against. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sure Rachel Zegler would be pro.
Yeah, that would be insane.
But when has she ever done? Rachel Zegler has never done any sex scenes in anything. To my knowledge.
I didn't see West Side Story. I don't know if there's.
I don't think so.
In there.
There would be kissing scenes, I suppose.
Rachel Zegler called out Sean Bean's post.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Of course, she's got to be like.
So there's like kind of an internal battle in Hollywood about intimacy coordinators. Jennifer Lawrence just spoke about the fact that they did not use an intimacy coordinator on set when she was filming Die My Love with Robert Pattinson. Obviously, they're still on the press tour for this movie. They're being asked questions about the nude scenes and the sex scenes. I saw more
trailers, and it looks even more absurd than... I feel like they're marketing it as absurd.
They are. It's like supposed to be sort of a black comedy. Jennifer Lawrence in the movie plays a new mother who is experiencing something like postpartum psychosis, and their relationship is falling apart. And here's what she said. She was actually using this as an opportunity to compliment Robert Pattinson. She said, "We did not have an intimacy coordinator, or maybe we did, but we didn't really. I felt really safe with Rob. He is not pervy and very in love with Suki Waterhouse." This is his wife. "We mostly were just talking about our kids and relationships. There was never any weird, like, does he think I like him? If there was a little bit of that, I would probably have an intimacy coordinator. A lot of male actors get offended if you don't want to F them. And then the punishment starts. He was not like that." So she said this on a recent podcast. I think it's a bit of a veiled call-out post to previous male actors that she's worked with. I don't know who, but you could go through her IMDb and look at the list of other male love interests that she's had in movies over the years and take your pick. Guess at who might be the creep that she is inadvertently calling out there. I mean, do you read it the same way? It sounds like she's throwing shade at somebody. Like, oh, male actors get mad at you if you don't want to F them.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, who was, like, mad at you for not wanting to F them for real on camera for a movie?
It's a hallmark of Hollywood to do stuff like this and not name names so that, like, literally every co-star you've ever had is now under suspicion.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was weirded out by the way she put it in the interview, and she was... Basically, a lot of people interpreted this as like Jennifer Lawrence being out of touch. She doesn't understand why intimacy coordinators exist, and they think it's seriously ironic that Jennifer Lawrence thinks that the purpose of intimacy coordinators is to be there just in case the actors like fall in love with each other. That's not really the risk that they are there to protect against. They're preventing the studio from facing risks.
Yeah, because I always wondered as like, okay, so if the job is literally mechanical, like put your hand here, do this way, is that not something the director is also capable of? Is it merely because the majority of the directors are going to be men that they want a woman saying the same thing that the man would be saying?
Yeah, and we know these intimacy coordinators are probably 100% female.
Yes,
like
100%.
If not, maybe 1% gay men.
There would be a hilarious sitcom to be made about the one male intimacy coordinator in Hollywood. And I do like the idea also of like it's an actor like a Jennifer Lawrence where they opt out of the intimacy coordinator and the coordinator gives them like a stack of papers they have to sign, like a release form, and they have to just keep signing, initialing different like papers so that they can't sue for sexual harassment.
I'm sure there are very few intimacy coordinators in Hollywood that are just intimacy coordinators. They're fellow directors who are just added onto the project. They're wearing many hats.
They've got their own like not union, but their own like segment now. I remember like they're getting their own credit in the industry.
And similarly, Gwyneth Paltrow was talking about how they opted away from an intimacy coordinator on Marty Supreme with Timothée Chalamet. She said, "We have a lot of sex in this movie. There is a lot. There is now something called an intimacy coordinator, which I did not know existed." I was like, I'm from an era where you get naked, you get in bed, the camera's on. We said, I think we're good. You can step a little back. I don't know how it is for kids who are starting out, but if someone is like, okay, and then he's going to put his hand here, I would feel as an artist very stifled by that.
If a guy was to say that, he's going to jail.
No, this is the weirdest part of her quote about Timothée Chalamet. She said, I was like, okay, great. I'm 109 years old. You're 14. She then calls Chalamet a thinking man's sex symbol. He's just very polite, properly raised.
Is that like a backhanded compliment?
I was going to say, kid, he's a man who takes his work really seriously and is a fun partner. So she's talking about these younger actors who are in their 20s as their kids, but it's just because, when you're old, you think everyone younger than you is a kid.
Yeah.
So she is one of those industry veterans who also finds the idea of an intimacy coordinator laughable. I just think it was a long time coming and this was inevitable because obviously when you're doing a sex scene, it goes against every instinct in the human body and evolutionary biology. Like, especially for women, it just makes zero sense to the human mind that you would engage in these sexual interactions with someone in a simulated fashion with a room of people watching you.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're looking at you face to face or whether they're in a control room in another room in the studio. It's just weird. Like, nobody's going to feel comfortable or safe with that.
That's why they pay him the big
very
bucks.
few exceptions to that rule. And that goes for nudity as well. Now, I want to mention an example to the contrary. Quentin Tarantino has a bit of a reputation for creeping on actresses, not in a way that anyone has ever said they felt violated by, but he has a foot fetish. It's not a secret anymore. It's just something that everyone finds funny and quirky about him. So Maya Hawke was recently talking to Amy Poehler on her podcast about working with Quentin Tarantino and whether she got advice from her mother, Uma Thurman, before working with him on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Here is what their interaction started with.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with like 5 actors, you were all playing Manson people, Manson-ish people.
Manson-esque.
And did your mom give you, Uma Thurman, did she give you any advice about working with Quentin?
Keep your shoes on.
Keep your shoes on, right? That's baby, keep them on, baby. And you're going to try to get... Keep them on, baby. Keep them on. Keep those shoes
I
on.
wonder if that food in the background is real. Like, it'd actually be really annoying. Like, that's the most Hollywood thing in the world, that you can't even put like real condiments in the background. Like, you have actually like more expensive fake condiments.
No, it's like when you go to your friend's house, like your friend's house is like a Tuscany like themed McMansion that has like all of those home goods.
Yeah.
Like bottles of olives and like I don't even know, like pomegranate seeds that dipped in radioactive acid. But yeah, they just, think that it's quirky that Quentin Tarantino is obsessed with actresses' feet. And he gets a pass because he's old. That's pretty much it.
Spike
He's
Madness.
grandfathered in.
Yes, he's got a lot of power as a director and stuff like that. It's like when it's.
I'm just saying this proves nothing has changed substantively about Hollywood.
It's like rich people versus poor. Remember, when you're poor, you're weird. When you're rich, you're eccentric.
Exactly. Jennifer Lawrence also spoke about how they coordinated her nudity on screen in Die My Love. In her interview with the New York Times, she did say that she was pregnant while they were filming, although that's not part of the plot line. I believe she was early on in her pregnancy with her second child, but she's also playing a postpartum mother in the movie, so I guess it wasn't a problem. And
she was going real meta there.
She refused to let her cellulite be edited out of the scenes. She said, "I don't care about nudity. I'm not sensitive about it. I wanted Lynn Ramsey, the director, to have total freedom artistically. I think being pregnant took a lot of vanity anxiety away. Before No Hard Feelings, I was dieting and not eating carbs and working out." She's mentioning No Hard Feelings because in that movie, she's in this weird dynamic with a younger guy, and she's supposed to be this like post-wall, like kind of chubby, but still like hot chick. Anyway, she said, "I was pregnant for Die My Love. What was I going to do? Not eat? I was working 15 hours a day. I was just tired. I remember them sending over a close-up of cellulite and being like, 'Do you want us to touch this up?' And I was like, 'No, that's an ass.'" So I guess if you go to see Die My Love, you're going to see Jennifer Lawrence's ass cellulite in HD 4K footage.
It's just virtue signaling.
Sounds like a great selling point for everyone.
It's just virtue signaling.
Is it?
It's just virtue signaling.
It's like, I'm so like real.
Yeah.
Like, look at
I
me.
hate that. Like,
Look at my cellulite.
This is what I always tell you with these things. Like, they get off on the idea of it feeling real, of it being real. Like, it's their favorite part about it. They're like, "Oh, that was so visceral. It was so real." Like, I want the actress who's like, "No, fix that. fix that. Can you Photoshop a moving image? Photoshop the moving image. I don't want
de-age my ass
de-age
with AI.
Like it needs to look different. Yeah.
They just give her like the craziest AI generated BBL in the movie for no reason.
I want the actor to be like, I better look like Kim Kardashian by the time this is done. I don't care if you have to hire industrial lights and magic. I'm going to look fantastic by the time this movie is done, because that's what it's really about in Hollywood. Vanity.
But J-Law is not real enough to shitpost on Maine. She has a fake account on TikTok where she argues with people online.
Weak.
Do you have a secret fandom most people don't know about?
Secret fandom?
Mm-hmm. I have a secret.
What?
I have like a secret life on TikTok.
I'm sorry, but the movie being right above Die My Love is crazy. Crazy work.
Yeah. Yeah, Mubi is now the premier like indie streaming service.
It's like I'm gonna in 10 years you're gonna have nothing but Mubi and Fubo.
You do?
I do.
With its own fans?
Well, I wouldn't say fans. I get in fights on TikTok.
But how with the comments?
I get in fights in the comment section, and one girl was like, "How old are you? Get a life." Do you have
Can you imagine if you were like getting into a fight with someone on a TikTok comment section and it's just Jennifer Lawrence on the other end?
I mean, that's just proof that when somebody says you're a loser in the comments section, that's not always true.
No, I think that what she's doing does in fact make her a loser, even though she's rich.
Depends on your definition of loser. If financial success is the gateway, then anybody can be a comment section hack.
I think say it with your chest.
I'm just
argue with people on Maine.
Whenever I see people arguing on the internet, I'm like, don't they have better things to do? Jennifer Lawrence literally has better things to do, and she's still doing it. She's
literally the meme of like the mom in Sims where her baby is on fire in the corner, and she's like, "Shut up, baby! Like I'm, like don't bother me, honey. Mommy is cyberbullying." Like she's literally that meme.
Olivia, is that
in real
you?
life.
Olivia loves Sims.
Well, Mocha is on fire in the corner.
There is a cat in her.
Shut up, sweetie. Mommy is cyberbullying right now. She has more important things to do.
Olivia is a sweetheart. She's an angel. She would never cyberbully anybody.
It is kind of lame that like every time someone with a kid is getting into a dispute online, someone says like as a clapback, they're like, "Go take care of your kid."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes like it's fine to like use the internet.
They're down for a nap and I can multitask.
Yeah, most of the time.
Jennifer Lawrence doing that is I wonder if there's Robert Pattinson has to probably find that to be such a foreign concept.
Cuz he's not really that online.
Yeah, like he's like, "What? Like I got better things to do. I'm married."
Yeah, well they're both married, which makes the intimacy coordinator conversation more interesting. Like these are two married people and their spouses have to be okay with the fact that they're doing this.
He seems like the type of dude who is very disarming with his co-stars. Like he seems
like he has a good sense of humor.
Yes, and maybe not the guy that nobody has a bad word to say about him, but he's charismatic in his own very European way. And when you reach that level of stardom, there's an aura about you that, that's going to stand out to most. Maybe not to Jennifer Lawrence because she's also a star, but, that's a very disarming personality to be both European, very, very personable in a very almost distant way. Like if you're like, when you see like his interviews and he's got that really wry sense of humor, like I'm sure that works on the majority of people.
Sure. I just imagine them like swapping tips on like Montessori private schools in Manhattan between takes.
I would like to see. I want to interview him and ask him if he knew what was going on when they were watching when they were making Tenet, because I think he said he did. Like, I've seen so much stuff lately from people who have made movies that are like being made while the scripts are being written, and they're like, I had no idea what was going on when that was. It was like when they were making which was what was the Sony Marvel movie that Matt Smith was on, and he was like, was that Madam Web or was that like one of the Venom movies? Whatever, it might have been Morbius, but either way, he was like, I had no idea what was going on.
That does seem like the most difficult part of being an actor, filming out of chronological order. I wouldn't be able to keep it all straight. Yeah, in my mind.
Well, that's why you got to go to the director. What just happened? What's my? I've been as I listened to more wrestling podcasts. Like this is like actually someone's job for like a road agent. Like when a wrestler's about to go out there, for this guy to be like, this is what happened last week. You're pissed. You're pissed. Like, you're still angry. Like, get out there. Like, they got to remind them because they like taped the last episode a week ago. And maybe the audience remembers it better because it lands different than you. There are people who watch this podcast that remember things that me and you will never remember because we're doing it, as opposed to people who consume it. So they're like, bro's like went out on television last week. Since then, he's had to travel 10,000 miles, catch 5 flights, do 5 other things. They're like, yeah, this is what happens. Like, okay.
You guys in the chat remember more of PCC history than we do. That's for sure. I also wanted to add, like, a lot of female Zoomer unks are kind of losing their minds over Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence being on a movie together, because obviously they were both like YA icons.
Oh yeah, I suppose they were because
time.
of Twilight and Hunger Games.
Yeah,
right.
So this is like worlds that we did not expect to collide.
It's gonna end up getting like turned into weird fanfic.
It's Katniss Everdeen, Edward Cullen crack ship.
You know, Morning Glory Milking Farm got brought up on IRL last night.
Why?
I was explaining it to Libby.
Why did that come up?
I don't even remember, but it was hilarious.
And she didn't know about it?
She knew about it, but she didn't know the details of it.
Maybe she didn't need to know.
She that was basically her summation was like, I didn't need to hear about that. Yeah, I was like, it's like, you think that's crazy? You should look into the book talk conventions.
It officially disturbs her more as an author herself.
Yeah.
Like, she's working on a novel right now, and it's not at all similar to Morning Glory Milking Farm, for your information.
Okay. All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see the cringe first. I'm excited for this one.
First, here we go.
This is from one of those great shows of yesteryear, Extreme Cheapskates, where they would like find like the most insane like penny pinchers in the country. This is disgusting, by the way.
Okay.
Every Monday, I go in, I get my latte, then I bring it home. To save money, I usually buy 1 large cup, and then I ration it out over the days. By rationing out the latte...
The one latte.
1 latte for a week. That's milk in there, by the way.
Curdled.
Yeah.
Over 3 days, I'm able to enjoy the latte for a third of the cost.
Oh, genius.
The lipstick marks indicate how many times that I've had to reheat this cup of coffee. On maybe the 3rd day, it seems like you get this film on top that you gotta take off. That part's disgusting, but there's good stuff underneath that.
Her coffee moments are probably the most absurd. Coffee cups like all stained and has lipstick all over it, and it's just kind of gross.
Yeah. Which is crazy, because like the real cheapskate move would be to make your own coffee and add milk to it.
Yeah. Like, as somebody now who can speak on this topic with experience, because I'm now a cold brew coffee drinker on the daily.
Cold brew enjoyer.
I buy a cold brew concentrate. It costs like from Walmart. It's like Walmart brand. It's like Donut Shop. That's the name of the flavor. Great value. It costs like $4.85, and it lasts over a week.
Mm-hmm. None of this
probably a week
nonsense.
now, because now like every day there's a little bit more concentrate in there because I'm like the caffeine kicks in faster.
But also she's like reheating the plastic too, and it's just like filled with sour milk and microplastics, and she's like, this is my sweet treat of the day.
Oh, I was so much happier before I saw that. All right, let's do cute of the day, and we need a good one here. Thank you, Bentley. This is from Jeremiah. It says, Bentley has entered burrito mode.
Very cute.
Well, Bentley would never drink from a disgusting, reusable cup of film-covered coffee.
I'm jelly right now. I want to be a burrito.
All right, I'm a potato. Let's move on.
So Disney has apparently learned nothing from all of their experiences remaking Disney princess fairy tales and having them bomb at the box office, because reportedly their new plans are to remake Sleeping Beauty. But this time it's going to be a new film titled Aurora, after, of course, Princess Aurora in Sleeping Beauty. And not only is it retitled, but it's also set in Mexico. I guess they're going to make Princess Aurora Mexican in this retelling for modern audiences. I don't know what that means. Are we getting another race swap? This should be taken with a grain of salt, though, because the only source for it is this scooper named Daniel Richtman.
I see his stuff
behind
all the
his
time.
paywall on Patreon that he dropped this information, and people are just running wild with it. It's now led to AI-generated photos like this one of Sydney Sweeney as Princess Aurora. And Josie said, holy shit, she's white. No one expected that. Like, is she gonna be white and Hispanic?
Is that like the mea culpa for making Rachel Zegler Snow White?
I don't know. Like, why did you need to put it in Mexico? For context, Sleeping Beauty originates from a French fairy tale narrative that was composed between 1330 and 1344. And it was later published in a retelling by Charles Perrault in 1697, which then Disney picked up for their own film.
Remember, guys, Disney is very dumb if they're doing this. First of all, they already have a princess that would fit the bill for this, which is Elena of Avalor, which was an animated series that they did several years ago starring Amy Carrero. It was actually one of Jenna Ortega's earliest works as a voice actress. So they could do that. But from what I understand, they have decanonized that character who was supposedly, you know, at one point was considered the first Latina Disney princess, and they got rid of her.
What year was that?
What was it? 2016 to 2020?
Okay, I had never heard of it before maybe the Snow White discourse brought it into conversation.
Yep.
The thing is, you can't settle for that if you're Disney, because obviously the point of remaking all of these stories is to issue an official apology for what was wrong, what was objectionable about the way they told it to begin with. The original Sleeping Beauty movie came out in 1959, and I have seen many feminist objections to the story, mainly that Princess Aurora cannot consent to being kissed if she's sleeping. And they also point out the supposed canonical age gap between her and the prince. Because I believe in the movie, is supposed to be 14.
You also can't consent to mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but there we are.
Yeah, like let me find out what age she's supposed to be.
Given how little I know about Disney princesses, I didn't even know, I kid you not, I didn't even know Sleeping Beauty's name was Aurora.
There is, of course, a think piece about consent in Sleeping Beauty published in the Mary Sue back in 2017, where they, you know, give you the introductory
That was the
debate.
golden age of feminism. That was really when America started falling apart, when all the things you loved from your childhood were then re-examined with a critical lens.
Mm-hmm. They say this does present a conundrum with the fairy tale. If Philip kisses Aurora, according to this sentiment, he is sexually assaulting her. However, if he doesn't kiss her, she dies. So much for happy endings.
Is the same true of, like, literally, this is a real thing in the real world. It's called mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
And
like,
then,
is the guy like, the person's dying on the ground and the EMT's like,
Right.
like, can I help you?
Yeah, it's non-consensual. Yeah. Well, Mary Sue actually did present some counter-arguments that she might have offered him non-verbal consent. There has to be taken into account that she does have feelings for Philip before she gets cursed. So that's one detail. Of course, he knows that kissing her is the only way to save her life. This is not a drunken accidental hookup or an older male authority figure taking advantage of a younger coworker. He's saving her from an eternity of sleep. And then, of course, you see the reaction to the kiss when she wakes up. She looks happy. She's smiling. So then you think, okay, now we've confirmed that she was consenting to what he did.
Bro, what if they
in
made
her body language?
What if they remade it and at the end he goes, nah, I'm not taking that chance. And he just leaves.
They said if Aurora's feelings were vague, we should definitely be having the consent conversation. We'd feel more comfortable having this conversation about Snow White because that dude literally just swings over to kiss a dead girl. However, what Aurora in the movie feels is pretty clear. She gives implied consent and reacts with delight to his actions. That matters.
Angry Shellback in the chat says, the curse was broken by true love's kiss. Means nothing anymore.
Really? But that's the point, right? They have to remake Aurora instead of coming up with a new story to issue a mea culpa for the problems that people pointed out in the original 1959 movie. Because it's not 1959 anymore. It's not 1937 anymore. And you have to remake these for modern audiences and modern sensibilities.
You really don't. You don't. You can just remake it.
You don't.
You can just remake it.
And of course, there's the racial element here, which was pointed out. Nina Infinity responded to the headline saying, why can't they make a Mexican princess or do a Mexican folklore story? Mexico has rich culture and many myths and legends and Mayan gods. They don't have to culturally appropriate instead.
You want to know why? Because then they'll have to hire all sorts of technical analysts and creative consultants to do it, and they don't want to do it.
Now, on the other hand, they are still developing the live-action Tangled movie with the Rapunzel fairy tale as its framework. And I think they have gone off the idea of race-swapping Rapunzel. Mm-hmm. According to rumors, they're looking for a white actress, thankfully, to play Rapunzel. So maybe they have learned their lesson, and maybe this rumor isn't even going to come to pass. We don't know yet.
It's transporting me back in time to 2018 when at that time it was a novel concept where the dregs of the Mary Sue and Tumblr escaped their hell dungeon and made it into polite society, and you had to entertain these types of discussions. And then to counteract it, you had to go online and look up like Jordan Peterson talking about fairy tales to like feel sane again. Yeah, he's like, oh, you know, Snow White.
Yeah.
It's a fairy tale, bucko.
And you know, it is true that Disney kind of emptied these fairy tales of a lot of their meaning when they adapted them the first time in the 20th century. That's a fair point too. It just gets to a point where it's intolerable when you remake the remake.
It's gonna keep happening.
Like, do you think that this is actually real? Do you like believe the rumor, or is this like...
I believe... Honestly, yeah, I do believe it. I do believe it. I've seen no evidence that their traditional storytelling has taken any sense of course correction outside of making some changes to some of their animated series and stuff like that. Like, I see nothing from them that says that they're going to be able to course correct in any meaningful way. They're not going to tell the original story unabridged. They're not going to dare and do that. They're not willing to risk it.
That Park Place said, this Sleeping Beauty set in Mexico pivot invites familiar questions, including the one many fans are already asking without needing to tweet it. If the goal is to celebrate Mexico and its rich mythology, why not create a brand new Mexican princess and brand new world?
What if they just hired Rachel Zegler again?
Yeah, just double down. F it. Let's bring her back.
Let's go.
Round two of the press tour.
I'm here for it.
But... yeah, they've already done that, haven't they? They made like Encanto, like that was popular.
Yes.
Coco was popular.
There is so much less baggage and so much more to be gained by going the new direction.
Moana, of course, is a newer one that's popular.
You get none of those unneeded comparisons. You don't have to have think pieces written by just absolute spinsters at the Mary Sue about the ethical nature of the story from 1937. You can just tell a new story and you'll get all the brownie points that you want from being diverse, which is, look, there is still plenty of people who are not hyper political that would love to see that story if it's something unique, if it was unique to Mexican folklore. Can I have a cool chupacabra in it? That would be awesome. I
believe the most recent addition to the Disney princess lineup was Princess Asha in Wish.
Yeah, and they didn't put any effort into it.
Awful.
Yeah.
Like, beyond awful.
Yeah, but the point is you were critiquing it on its own merits. You weren't critiquing it as a comparison to something else. And the other thing is personally, selfishly, I would like to see more stuff because I'm sick of everything. Like, the reason I'm sick of remakes is because I'm sick of having to either watch or rewatch something before I go watch something new. Like, I saw Running Man when I was very, very young, the original one. I don't want to go rewatch it just to go see Glenn Powell in it. I don't want to, I mean, I do want to rewatch the original Predator, but not because Predator Badlands is coming out.
Well, to, I guess, Snow White's 2025's credit, I did watch the animated Snow White for the first time, and it was beautiful and impressive for its time, especially. And I have not watched the 1959 Sleeping Beauty. If this remake comes to pass, I will, just to compare the two. I, for context, wasn't allowed to watch the Disney princess movies. I don't know why, but I'm not emotionally invested in these movies.
So somebody in the chat, I lost it here. It was really funny. Said Eddie Murphy as the Chupacabra. I actually, when I was on Culture War with Tom Bancroft, he talked about designing Mushu for Mulan and how they were like going back and forth about who to cast, and then they were like Eddie Murphy, and they were like, huh? And then it was awesome.
Do you think that that Mulan is like a feminist story? Because she's like, you know, I can do anything a man can do.
I mean, probably an old school idea. There is less baggage and anger with that story, the original story, from what I understand, than there is like with feminism today. I didn't see the 2021 one, but you know, it's. I would love. You know what? Eddie Murphy should do it. Eddie Murphy should come. He's not retired, but he should come out and do that. Or Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker as the Chupacabra.
Back from hiatus.
We need him. And then after that, Disney, I don't know who owns Rush Hour. I don't know who owns the Rush Hour franchise. And they make Rush Hour 4, you know, whatever one they're on now. And we get Jackie Chan.
Times call for desperate measures. Bring back Chris Tucker from the dead.
Yep.
We did kind of pull some egregious clickbait today with Sydney Sweeney, just because that was the fan cast that we came across. No. I don't think Sydney Sweeney is going to play Princess Aurora.
She doesn't need to.
And I don't think that she would take the role if it were offered to her.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think she needs to. She's doing plenty good kissing Scooter Braun on a rock in a park.
Yeah, get that bag.
I saw a comment that said like brown loafers with white socks.
That was crazy. Wait, what do you mean you're just sitting on a rock? Why are you just sitting on a rock in 40-degree weather?
I don't wear brown loafers. So what's you wear black socks with brown loafers, or do you get matching socks?
You don't wear brown socks. You just need black.
You just wear black. But traditionally you don't wear. See, I had like dark brown like pants, not khakis, but like dark brown that I would wear with black shirts, and that was always considered taboo because you're not supposed to wear brown and black together. But that rule doesn't apply to socks.
Outdated.
Okay, let's go.
But yeah, those photos were kind of disturbing.
All right, somebody's right. Yeah, today it would be Eric Andre to do. Yeah, okay, you're right.
No, they're gonna get Bowen Yang.
No.
Okay, let's read some super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Brett, Mary, and Phil?" ? My Advent candles are in, so I get to film this weekend. I've already put in 15 hours in pre-production. Sorry about Phil's absence.
He will hopefully be back next week.
Yes, yeah. I totally understand. He needs time to adjust. We're gonna have grace for him.
We got some Rumble rants here. Urka17 says, "Happy Thursday, Brett and Mary. Bad news, my golden retriever shredded 2 bags of Mary's Ghost Blend, covering every inch of my car's interior with it last night. Good news, my car smells amazing now."
Well, it does smell amazing. Since you mention it, smells like delicious cinnamon. Go to castbrew.com if you want to get, well, I guess replacements for the Mary's Ghost Blend that you purchased. Sorry that happened, though. That's gonna stick with you for a while. Hope your dog is okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that doesn't sound safe.
Local Wendigo says, "I have seen things on pre-2018 Tumblr, and I wish I could unsee them."
Yeah.
He was looking at weird, like sissy hypno shit, I bet.
I actually made a Tumblr in 2018. That was the first I had used Tumblr. And by then, like, nobody was around. So it was just kind of like Pinterest.
Yeah.
I liked it.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back. Let's move on.
Okay. I should preface this with saying there is no source for the comment I'm about to tell you. Lana Rhoades, a current porn star, is reportedly begging all of these sites to erase the content that she has filmed. Over 400 porn scenes of her brief career. And it says in this tweet it was from a tearful 20-minute speech. I can find zero evidence that such a speech exists, but the quote here says, "I was 19, broke and groomed. I want every video gone so my son never sees his mom like that." For context, Lana Rhoades started in porn when she was 19 in 2016 and did porn for a total of 8 months. And similarly to Mia Khalifa, who only did porn for a month, it just randomly kind of caught so much attention that probably she didn't expect. And now she's one of the most well-known names in that industry.
Well, off the back of wearing a hijab while doing porn.
And what you should know is that she is not a former adult star, as all of these posts are claiming. She does have an active OnlyFans, both paid and free pages on OnlyFans. To this day, it's in her Instagram bio. So I don't know why everyone is calling her a retired porn star. She still creates porn to this day, but seemingly has very complicated feelings about it. There is a seed of truth to what is being said. I have not seen any evidence that she is begging these websites to erase the evidence of these videos, though.
So is the grooming, are we under the assumption here that this started before she was 18, that she was groomed into the industry before she became an adult?
That's never been something she claimed.
People are going to take issue with the idea that you, a legal adult, were groomed into something.
No, that's never been something she claimed
Okay.
out loud, no.
Okay.
I think that she is saying that began at 19. And I should also note, since she briefly retired, she has had a kid. I believe she's married. And you see, oftentimes these former porn actresses try to recover their reputation. And it works to some degree. You can see on her Instagram currently, she has plenty of brand deals. She walks fashion runways.
They can go mainstream. That's so
easily,
it's so weird how they would talk in the early 2000s about how porn had gone mainstream already at that point, but now it's the mainstream and porn are indecipherable from one another.
Right,
They're
right.
indistinguishable from one another.
Yeah, exactly. And oftentimes, that's the launch pad for a career post pornography.
That's what Mia Khalifa had a mainstream career in sports commentating.
Mia Khalifa did that. There's another one. I just heard an interview with this former porn star named, I think, Sky Bree on Red Scare podcast. And she said that she has retired for actually maybe a year or two now. And currently all she does is social media. She's just a Twitch streamer or whatever, and is fully clothed on streams, just talking about her opinions, her life, etc., and has a fan base that is seemingly totally divorced from the people that watched her porn. So that's pretty much par for the course with all of these people. But it was in the meantime between 2016 and 2023 that Lana Rhoades shared a lot of these, really disturbing experiences that she had when she was doing porn. She even went to the length of saying that it should be illegal. And this is all before she relaunched her OnlyFans page, which makes her seem like a total hypocrite. So on a podcast episode in 2020, she revealed that she had been influenced into idolizing the career path of a porn star during her earlier teenage years, maybe just by the larger culture. She said, "I was 14 and got the idea. I feel like I knew that I was going to be successful. At 14, I was just like, I'm going to be the #1 porn star." And
That's insane.
I think that comes from probably unfettered internet access as a child when you're exposed to porn at that age. I'm sure that's why she got that idea in her head. She revealed her career plans to a school guidance counselor who responded by telling her that she needed therapy. Solid response. And then she also added in another interview in 2021 that she idolized the Playboy models, and that was another influence on her that glamorized this lifestyle when she was younger. And then in 2022, she said that she made more money becoming a content creator compared to when she was a porn actor. But
the thing is you make your way to that tax bracket of content creation by starting out in the other place. There's a step that you can't skip.
She explained why she would never advise anyone to work in the adult industry. She said, "I didn't have a great experience, and I don't think that it's great for other women or even men. Everyone can do what they want. I just don't think that they're making the best decision for themselves going into it. I don't think that having sexual relations with people that you hardly know is good for your mental health or your heart." And it's just funny to me that we need a porn star to be the one to tell us that.
So is perhaps the idea here when she says that she was groomed by way of what she used to watch when she was a teenager?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's, some people would object to her using that term, but it implies an individual, that a person did it to her rather than unfettered internet access, which would be then, I guess, her parents. Ultimately, yeah. Okay, but there's the larger cultural influence on her as well. She also revealed that there were some unnamed scenes which were traumatic for her to film. She said 3 to 5 were really traumatic for me, whether it's being sent to set with someone who was way too old or being pressured into doing something that I was scared of doing because it was too extreme. And that can definitely be very traumatic. I would say that's the 100% contributor to why I left the industry. And then in another interview, she said that she thinks porn should be illegal, which is a whole new conversation. She said when she started, she had only slept with one person at that point. She said, "I was very inexperienced. For whatever reason, I never comprehended to do porn, you actually have to have sex with people. And very quickly, I realized this isn't for me." She claims to be pretty much asexual. She says she doesn't like having sex and doesn't find people attractive. She revealed all of that before explaining why she thinks the porn industry is so bad. I mean, essentially, you're having to have sex with people that you didn't choose to have sex with, that you might not find attractive. You might actually think they're disgusting.
Okay,
and you have to have sex with them because it's your job. You don't have to. But.
Yeah, and didn't choose is also not accurate. You agreed to do it.
She's mincing words.
The language is designed to obfuscate what's going on and remove her accountability for what's going on.
And then she added, how should a 19-year-old girl be put in that position, having to have sex with people that they don't really want to touch at all? Her advice then was instead to go the OnlyFans route if you want to create adult content. That way you're in control of the content and not relying on anyone else.
Okay. Before we get to that part right there, go back to the part you said in conjunction with that sentence. She said, what did she say?
Wait, about
just
OnlyFans?
Reread that whole statement.
Okay, so how should a 19-year-old girl be put in that position, having to have sex with people that they don't really want to touch at all?
You're not having to.
Yeah.
You signed up and agreed to do this. This is like a lot of people, when I read the comments talking about this, were like, offer her, again, people who weren't checking to see whether this was real or not. Who knows whether her statements about having everything removed are even real. But they were saying, like, offer her grace. It's never going to happen, but people have a right to change. But the thing is there's so much removal of accountability in these statements that seem to be, this thing happened to me. And don't get me wrong, awful things likely did happen to her, but she's making it seem as if she just, one day she woke up and she was there and it just happened.
Right.
And she's, it's that story where when you get a story from two friends where something happens to them and you weren't there, each person leaves out strategic details to make the story more amenable to their account of what happened. She's leaving out very important details that show her own level of responsibility as a legal adult for the choices that she made.
As for the porn industry, she said, "I don't think it's good for anyone. They should make it illegal." I agree with that, for the record, but she's the last person to comment on this, given that she has an active OnlyFans and is a porn star to this day. I have no idea why the fact that she does OnlyFans exempts her from the label.
Yeah.
And now all of these headlines are coming out like Lana Rhoades wants all her videos deleted, blah, blah, blah. And claiming that she was taken advantage of. I cannot find any source for that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's totally made up out of thin air as far as I can tell. But she, for context, this is why I've read all these quotes from her. She has been extremely vocal about her objections to the porn industry and very vocal about why she left and how it left her traumatized. Those quotes are real. However, shortly after saying porn should be illegal is when she relaunched her OnlyFans in October of 2023.
She's likely talking about porn made by other people in which you don't own the means of production. She wants communist porn.
It's not that she objects to pornography in and of itself for moral reasons.
She wants
just self-serving reasons.
She wants to work for herself.
Yes.
Which is, and again, that's the rub here. The issue here is that to make the porn made by yourself profitable, you have to first start with the people that are going to exploit you even further.
And here's the thing. I agree with where you're coming from about the lack of accountability and everything she's saying. Mm-hmm. But I just know from my friendships, like with women, especially at the age of like 19, whatever we're talking about, like they really don't have a lot of self-governance. Mm-hmm. They don't have a lot of agency, like naturally. And I'm only saying this to really be fair to what she's saying. Like I'm trying to hear her out in what she's saying. I can't recall all of the details, but there was this one time, like, I think I was a senior in high school talking to one of my friends who was also a senior, but she was like maybe 17. Anyway, she went on a date with a guy at our school, and this was a relatively rare thing at my school. Like, people didn't really date like that. But anyway, she went on a date of sorts with this guy in our class. And she said that, like, when they were saying goodbye at the end of the night, the guy, like, wanted to kiss, and then she, like, felt uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. But instead of saying that she felt uncomfortable, she was just trying, like, giggling and trying to be nice, and she was really like, oh, like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is how women think. Mm-hmm. This is also how Alex Cooper, host of Call Her Daddy, thinks. We remember her story about hooking up with this guy in Paris. She gets to his apartment. They have zero chemistry. She doesn't want to be there. But she just says to her audience, you ladies know what I'm talking about, right? Where you just like, you want to get out of that situation, but you just don't know what to say and you don't want to make them mad. And like, you just don't know how to say no. And like, as stupid as that sounds, it's actually true. Women like literally don't have that ingredient in their brain chemistry that allows you to not even put up a fight, but really just resist or go against the grain in any social interaction. It's very contrary to female nature to do that. I can't relate to what she's saying in that clip. I can't relate to what my friend was telling me. I've never been that type of person, but it's true, generally speaking, of women. So I have to say I do sympathize because I understand where she's coming from when she says that.
We can't, like, the thing is, though, is most people aren't going to, it's just not going to work on the average person. They're like, look, if we live in a supposedly egalitarian society and everyone's supposedly equal under the law, which means you have your own responsibilities to govern yourself in a way that will lead you down the path of least harm.
In that case, it makes no sense.
In that case, the first red flag is the language in which she distances herself from the choices that she already made. There have been many adult film stars who worked in that industry and then got out and spoke of the evils of it at a high volume and talked about the bad things that happened to them. But one of the key components of that is they have to acknowledge that they made the choice, whether it's because there was financial gain to be had, they didn't feel like they had any other options. The first step is to say, I still made this decision, and then all of the evil shit happened to me. It doesn't make the evil shit any less true. But for the average person who's looking at this, as you ask for spit to be removed from the ocean, a la, all your videos being pulled from the internet, it's never going to happen. Yeah. And it's a fool's errand. And what they would say is, well, you can do that as long as it's like your own content that you made. And even then, you can't really do that. It's never going to happen. Somebody's going to screenshot. Like, it's not reality. Yeah. You're not living in the real world. And we can't run a society based on wishes, dreams, and just the things about men and women that are different. It would be great if we could acknowledge the differences between men and women and somehow govern society in a way that catered to that. But large-scale civilizations nowadays are not set up to do that.
That sure would be great, wouldn't it?
But you can't.
If we could just acknowledge.
And I would acknowledge that, and I would say that she doesn't want that. She wants that when it's beneficial to her. She doesn't want it when it doesn't benefit her.
I guess my only point is that whatever she wants doesn't matter when we're making.
Well, in this case, I mean, that's the pragmatic fact of the situation. Like, you can't do anything about it.
I was only trying to say, back when we were talking about Alex Cooper's story time.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is why Me Too exists, because women insisted on being independent and insisted on really losing the place of high esteem they once had in society.
Well, do you want to be independent?
They were deemed worthy of being protected.
Do you want to be independent, or do you want to, have all your videos removed from the internet? You can pick one.
You can either reap the benefits of liberation or reap the benefits of patriarchy, and there are benefits, and there are pros and cons to both, really.
Correct.
All right, let's read the super chats. Rural Conservative said soybeans start early October, corn after that, ending in mid-November. Thank you for the agriculture education. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary ain't wrong about the matcha, Brett. I get one every Sunday evening on the way home from Vespers. Join us, Brett. One of us. Google gobble.
Maybe one day I will fall into that.
I think at the very least you should try it. Well, at least once, because you don't know what you're missing.
Okay.
Junie said, a Starbucks iced matcha latte with pumpkin sauce, brown sugar syrup, and pumpkin cold foam, though. Has anyone tried the protein version yet? I'm scared. The protein version is a scam. I'll just tell you that now. It's the whole protein thing that they introduced at Starbucks is a scam. The cold foams are not. They don't work at all. And I don't even add sweetener to my matcha. I just get it plain. Really good.
Do one more.
Redneck said Bud Dwyer was the ultimate crash out.
Do you know that reference? I feel like I'm missing something specific here.
I don't know that reference. No.
All right. Let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back.
Okay. Guys, Meghan Markle is planning her big comeback to Hollywood after a 7-year hiatus from acting on Suits. She's decided it's finally best to return to what she is best at, which is pretending to be someone she's not. And we just saw the report in Variety that she is attached to a new movie produced with Lily Collins and Brie Larson. It's called Close Personal Friends. This is confirmed to also have Jack Quaid and Henry Golding in the cast. Meghan Markle is returning to the screen with just a small cameo role. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see much of her in the movie. But this has me thinking we need to unite, the Avengers of feminism.
I mean,
Brie Larson, Meghan Markle, Mindy Kaling, Rachel Zegler, even. We could bring on all of our feminist icons.
Prince Harry makes more sense as a cameo than Meghan Markle.
For close personal friends?
Literally anything. It's like, like Ed Sheeran would make random cameos as Ed Sheeran. I want to see Prince Harry make cameos where he plays
Harry?
the opposite of who he actually is, where he's actually assertive and an alpha male, which is the opposite of clearly what he's like in his relationship with Meghan Markle. If he just shows up as an Andrew Tate type in movies.
Yeah. Well, the reason why this is so interesting is the description of the story. It revolves around a regular couple that meets a celebrity couple while on a trip to Santa Barbara. That's actually where Meghan and Harry live. When the two couples become friends, lines are crossed and things get awkward.
Uh-oh.
I just would relish the experience of seeing Meghan Markle and Prince Harry in this movie playing the regular couple who meet the Hollywood couple and they can't relate to their lavish lifestyle.
Like, what do you mean a first look deal?
Yeah, exactly. Like they're the humble ones. They're the normal people in the movie. I would love to see them try their hand at pretending to be normal. Since they seem incapable of that. And this goes against an earlier report from Page 6, which claimed Hollywood has soured on Harry and Meghan.
I mean, she doesn't bring in any money from what I've seen.
But they still chose her for this project. Yeah. A Hollywood source told Page 6 days ago that when it comes to Markle and Prince Harry, there is not only no appetite left for them in LA, they have also worn through any goodwill they once had. People are sick of them and the act has gotten stale. They've also downgraded their deal with Netflix. It once was a $100 million multi-year deal, which has just been renewed merely as a first look deal. I was pressing Brett for information. Yeah. You were my personal ChatGPT today. I was asking you what the parameters of a first look deal are, but I think I get it now.
Yeah.
Netflix is essentially paying to have them on retainer for any projects that they come up with.
So they come up with stuff, which is funny because they keep talking about how Meghan Markle doesn't know how to come up with stuff.
It's not their strong suit.
It's weird. Like, she seems like the last person you would want to have on. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to come up with specific projects for her and then try to... She seems to want to just be plugged into whatever somebody else creates anyways.
Right.
But then instead, like, Meghan Markle comes up with, what did I say, like, briefcase tutorial show, and she pitches it to Netflix, and Netflix has the right to be like, oh yeah, let's make it. Or
like an expose docu-series on Deal or No Deal.
Or they can say, nah, take that shit to Peacock.
Right. The source also says the couple has no finesse when it comes to business. They're just hopeless in professional settings. We're told Harry even allegedly showed up late to a Netflix meeting and then asked an executive for a cup of hot chocolate. This is apparently his go-to beverage of choice.
Oh, man. That's good to know. Wait, what article is this from?
Is this from Page 6?
It's the most Page 6 thing I've ever gotten.
The story echoes a similar claim made by a Spotify employee, remained anonymous, of course, who told Vanity Fair that Harry asked for a hot chocolate, but there was none in the office, so employees scrambled to obtain some. The report also claimed that an idea was pitched to Harry at Netflix. What if he did a show where he reviewed a hot chocolate every week while chatting with a different friend, which he and his team considered and ultimately rejected?
I mean, that sounds stupid when you say it like that, but there's stuff like that all over.
Yeah.
Like that is actually something that would get made.
Hot chocolate with Harry.
Yeah, like Harry's hot chocolate.
Amazing.
Like hot chocolate date.
Perfect.
Like that's a hot chocolate shop date. Like
what he needs is a brand deal with Harry's.
You can't tell me Hot Ones gets like Sean Evans or whatever that guy's name, $1 gazillion, and it's like and that's genius. But hot chocolate with Harry is somehow stupid. It's only stupid because he's a wet blanket,
right?
Not because the idea is stupid. All those ideas are stupid.
It's stupid because of who Harry is.
Yeah.
And not only has their Netflix deal downgraded, but the Spotify deal they once had is no more. And Meghan is still working on her Confessions of a Female Founder show.
Just waiting for Elizabeth or like whatever, or like Holmes to get out of jail.
They did announce a holiday special for With Love Meghan on Netflix, but not yet whether she's going to have a third season.
You know, I just realized the other day that Olivia puts seasonal specific soap in the bathroom. Give her a television
we need
show. With Love Olivia. We have like holiday themed soap in the bathroom. So she's already more of a homemaker than Meghan Markle is.
So everyone was losing it over this promotional image for Meghan Markle's As Ever lifestyle brand. She's in her kitchen in this candid shot. It's a planned really. And she is she's using this tool that people use when they can.
I saw this,
like when they preserve fruits, vegetables in cans. But the tool that you're supposed to use to do that has one side with a grip that you're supposed to grab. The other side is metal. She had it upside down with the grip part on the can.
I saw people like screenshotting, blowing it up, and like drawing arrows and making diagrams as to how it works. I'm like, this is what the women are into. Did you see the clip the other day of like Tate McRae with the microphone upside down by accident?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, she was like singing.
Lip-syncing?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a backing track, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a bad look when the microphone is upside down.
Right. Yeah, and you just think, like, does someone in Meghan's camp secretly hate her and is trying to sabotage her? Like, how did this get through so many layers of approval and then get published? Like, nobody on their team noticed that she was holding this tool upside down looking like an idiot.
They're coastal elite, like, media types. They probably never used that thing in their life. I wouldn't have known.
Her image, regardless of whether it's accurate to her real life, her image is supposed to be that she is this, you know, down to earth, like salt of the earth, homemaker. She knows all about, you know, gardening and beekeeping and canning and all these things. She's an expert at it, which is why she has her own brand and her own show surrounding all these things.
Yeah.
And yet you still let that photo get published.
She's the one at fault for this. Like, I'm not expecting some production assistant to know, but if the idea here is that you're an expert in this,
yeah,
like it's like somebody like having a show about home renovations and not knowing how to use a drill.
Look, Gwyneth Paltrow would never pretend to be, you know, a homesteader when she's not. She just lets everyone know that she's Gwyneth Paltrow and, you know, sells her vagina candles. They say Meghan is convinced she is smarter than everyone and is so dismissive. She is the one in the couple who controls everything.
There is something about royal gossip, like this segment, like the Page 6 style of gossip, that is so vicious that it could only be written by women or gay men.
Yes, absolutely.
Mostly women, I'm sure.
Gay with clipboard.
Yeah, like there's just something so vicious about, like,
do we really think it's that far-fetched?
No. That's like, even if it's true, the way it's writing is somehow supposed to be just as biting as the behavior itself.
Well, yeah, except for the fact that when Meghan Markle is bossing people around, they're her inferiors.
Straight men.
When you're a Page 6 journalist, you're actually punching up at Meghan Markle.
No straight dude is going to like complain about it that way. They're going to be like, she's a little bitchy.
The Vanity Fair story also quoted an anonymous employee who worked on projects with her, saying the experience was awful and painful. It was unfair. What could their staff truly do about it? The sources were anonymous and things could not be refuted. And then a Hollywood Reporter article in September of last year claimed that staffers are terrified of Meghan. She belittles people. She doesn't take advice. They're both poor decision makers. They change their minds frequently. Harry is a very charming person with no airs at all, but he is very much an enabler, and she is just terrible. And he lets her be.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention that Meghan Markle recently spoke at one of these women's summits. She was invited and featured at Fortune's Most Powerful Women's Summit in Washington, D.C., because she's a female founder.
Yes, she is.
And she's an expert on the subject. And she spoke there about her complicated relationship with social media. She said, "I have had a very complicated relationship with social media, as you can probably imagine, but I also recognize the role that it plays in business." She had taken a hiatus from social media, only rejoining in January during the launch of her brand As Ever. She's continuing to develop a plan on social media that works for her, her family, and her business. But one tactic she's used is turning off comments on her posts because, quote, "a lot of those people aren't going to my page to see negativity. It's not just protecting myself or the people that work with me, but also my supporters."
I mean, it is actually like a net negative for her business to do that. She's putting her feelings beforehand. The better thing would be to just not look at them.
She's like, "That's not just for me. I'm protecting my fans."
But I also don't think that you can, I don't think that Instagram is like X, where you can just like turn the notifications off, like in-app notifications. Like you can turn the push notifications off, but I don't think you can stop them from getting them like in the app.
Okay, but just like all of these other people, she has the option on the table to have people manage her social media on her behalf and chooses not to. Jennifer Lawrence has a fake TikTok account where she argues with teenagers in the comment sections anonymously because she gets a thrill out of it. Right?
Yeah.
It's probably honestly because they don't face a lot of adversity in their real lives.
Yeah, they're
have
surrounded by nothing but yes men and women.
Mm-hmm. I also want to show this recent podcast appearance of Prince Harry. responding to the drama between Taylor Swift and Charlie XCX.
This one?
Yeah.
This guy looks like a mix of like, he looks like South Asian John Stamos meets Walton Goggins.
I know I've seen him before, but I don't remember his name.
Because the other ones haven't been.
What do you think of this Charlie XCX Taylor Swift beef?
The what? Oh no.
No, this is serious, because was Charlie's diss track?
He's got some Ryan Long in him. It's like with his facial expressions.
Even a diss track. I mean, to me, Sympathy is a Knife was about something completely different. But then Taylor comes back and I think escalates it with the actually romantic thing. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, is this fair? Or did Charlie draw blood and Taylor had to respond? Sometimes I just think, where do we go from here, you know?
Well,
this is the worst type of like millennial content that you get. Like the explicitly like they're cutting to shots of Harry when normally it would be on the guy who's talking. It's a tactic they use in reality TV.
Yeah.
They pull shots that aren't even from that point, and the silence could just cut in, like the silence could just cut a knife. Like a knife could just cut the silence. I hate this type of stuff. Like this is the worst type of content made. Whoever created this stuff belongs in hell.
I got a kick out of it, personally.
Whoever on their deathbed, they should apologize for creating this style of content.
And Prince Harry is like, I'm sorry, what does this have to do with my bitch wife?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I only think about my wife.
Yeah.
What does this have to do with Meghan?
The top comment says me when my boyfriend talks about sports. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do in that situation.
Yeah. It's like me when I'm like, Shohei Ohtani reached base 9 times in one game. They're like, and he had a gambling scandal, but it wasn't him. It was supposedly his translator. And Freddie Freeman is a national, and then they're like, what?
I'm Prince Harry right now.
Exactly. All right, that was she should just become a full cast member in the movie. She should.
I really wanted that. I wanted to find out that Harry and Meghan were going to co-star together and play the humble people.
Let's go to Super Chats. Somebody said, for the name of the Harry show, Hot Chocolate.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
See, if they had that in their pitch, it would have worked.
That's a great idea. Come up with more. Shane H. Wilder said, I have Paramount Plus, but I got it and Peacock for free.
How? Which
Probably
one? Oh,
like,
is it like one of those deals? I think like
yeah.
You get one of them through like Walmart Plus. I think I saw a Super Chat about that.
Sometimes I even like check out on like a retail site and it's like, do you want to get our special deal for Disney Plus? I'm like, no.
In the chat, angry Shellback says, to be a YouTuber, you have to be hyper-verbal. Nobody likes dead air. Yeah, if you're recording a video, and it's even worse, like, I imagine if you're on IRL or something like that where there's 4 people and there's dead air, it's like way worse. The people listening to it probably don't even notice it because you're in a fundamentally different mindset when you're consuming content as opposed to when you're making it. People have talked all the time about like me and you like talking over each other, and they don't understand that like that doesn't bother 2 people in a discussion like this because it's not the same thing, because it's still a performance of sorts. As opposed to just like our traditional discussions are a little bit different. Like you may say something and then I may take more time to respond because I'm thinking about an answer. Whereas here, you better go. And there are times like when I'm recording videos on my own where I have to like look something up, and I'll watch content where like Tim's recording a video and he'll look something up, right? And he just lets it hang there for a couple of seconds while he looks something up. That is hell. To me, it feels like 10
Yeah, I was
years.
going to say, ironically, Tim is actually very comfortable with letting silent moments hang in the air on his shows.
And I think that that's actually a skill set that he's learned from doing things on his own, right? Like when he makes his segments, he's kind of just taking you through a story. Whereas when I do something on here, like on one of my solo videos, it's a monologue that I have in a specific order, points that I want to hit. And if I hit dead air, it's because I either missed something that I was going to say, and I fucking hate going back and editing. So it's just like...
For me, if I'm making like a video for TikTok or
you do it in
Instagram,
like groups.
I definitely plan it out.
Yeah.
Pre-planning like every point that I want to make.
Joseph in the chat says Tim always types into ChatGPT during the shows. Like, I want to start doing segments where I'm just like, I'm gonna just start doing me and GBT, and that's gonna be the segment.
I thought that Tim said he doesn't use ChatGPT anymore. He prefers.
I mean, he might be saying Grok. He might mean Grok, but.
Which, by the way, I just want to say right now, Grok sucks. I have gotten so many wrong answers from Grok, probably more wrong than right at this point. And I think that people aren't aware of that because they don't scrutinize the information that it gives you. I've asked for like, give me, you know, in regard to like the Teen Vogue topic that we covered earlier this week, I was like, okay, what has editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue so-and-so said about feminism? And it gave me a list of completely fake quotes. And then most people would get that answer and they would think, oh my gosh, she said those crazy things about feminism. And then they would just post it like it's real. And I ask it, you know, link me the video or article in which she is quoted saying that. And it then spits back at me like, it's this one. And then I say, it's not in there. And it's like, sorry, I was paraphrasing her general ethos around feminism. That was a real quote. Oops. But it takes you some digging to actually realize that it's just completely making it up on the spot.
Well, you have to pay very close attention to the annotated notes, and then you have to click those links and follow those links to where, you know, and make sure that what you're seeing is actually in there. At its heart, for like somebody like me, ChatGPT is just it's a tool for research, and it doesn't stop at just looking at what's on screen on ChatGPT. It means you don't want to type in a long thing into Google, which is just going to give you an AI overview anyways now.
Those are awful too.
Yeah, like you have to use it, and then you have to find the links, and then you have to make sure that the links that you're clicking on actually say the things that are listed there. A lot of times for me, what I use it for is like, if I want to look at like numbers for box office stuff, I'm like, give me the numbers for these, like this year, these types of movies, you know, just the numbers, just the data. And then I have to go and like independently check it with like thenumbers.com or something.
Yeah, it probably does better when asking it for numerical figures instead of anything involving language. Like, I asked it, you know how everyone says that Sydney Sweeney's grandpa, like, said that she has a great rack? Yeah. Everyone says that her grandpa said that. I was like, that cannot be true. I asked Grok where that came from. It sends me a link to an interview she did with Ellen, and I watch it, and not once does she say that. Yeah. Not once does that come up at all. And I say it's not in there, and it's like, oh, well, I guess people just say that. It's just not real. Like, it never happened.
I mean, this is kind of like, I've never had a good way. I'm not Shane Cashman, so I don't have like a really, really clever way of wording my thoughts. But we've gradually entered an era of apathy, because it could be real, it could not be real. All that matters is whether it reaffirms the point you want to make.
That's what annoys me about Grok and ChatGPT, is that people say, this is true. It will craft your answer based on how it thinks you feel about the topic at hand, which is
much in the way that social media, like a platform like X, is a deconstruction machine, meaning that you say, I love apples, and somebody says, well, that means you hate oranges. Go fuck yourself. I hope you die, or something like that. ChatGPT are confirmation bias machines.
Yeah. When I've given it no reason to assume what my stance is on any of these things. It's just like totally useless for me in terms of research at this point. Shane H. Wilder said, I have been an assistant director on a film. Part of my job was to keep the dailies and tell the actors where they were in the story and how to act. Yeah, that still seems like it would be the hardest part of acting.
I want to be I would love to do that. I want to be the person who just like, and you're
really like
hyped furious, and you've never felt this way before.
Thank you guys.
I could get into some shit like telling them what to do.
Is this the second party?
2.
Or is it the third?
Second.
Thank you, guys.
And it's very emotionally fraught.
And then the AI actor just starts growling at you.
What do you mean?
Evan King said Gremlins 3 was announced. How long is too long for it?
Hold, please. Are they getting a free one?
I'm not dancing for that.
Yeah.
Why does it do that?
Sometimes it like gets held together with duct tape and bubble gum.
Yeah. Anyway, Gremlins 3 was announced. How long is too long for a sequel? Will we get Sound of Music 2 with 90-year-old Julie Andrews singing and dancing on a hill?
Maybe. You'll never
Anything's
know
possible.
for sure. Yeah, I don't have any interest. I think they said 2027 for that. Don't care.
Have you watched
I saw the
Gremlins?
first ones. I never saw 2.
I don't think I've seen it at all.
It's kind of how I felt when they announced like the Chucky television series. I'm like, bro, I don't care. I don't care.
There is a Chucky television series?
Yeah, I never watched it, but it was like I don't remember if that was a Peacock series or something. I just remember the only reason I knew about it was because Liv Morgan the wrestler was like in a cameo, or maybe it was more than a cameo. It was in the show.
We have a 20 from Philip Reed. Been on a nostalgia trip recently, and dear Lord, Stacy's mom did in fact have it going on.
Is that in reference to the song?
I think so.
These
song.
mom's got it going on. There you go.
It's a good song. Corey Anderson said, sorry, Lana, you do not own those videos.
No, she doesn't.
Well, I guess she can ask them for the favor of taking them down if they feel like it.
The thing is those companies are like, they're sectored off by like layers and layers of incorporated businesses. You're never going to make your way back. And even then, they've been copied 10,000 times and distributed illegally on dozens of sites. It's impossible.
Do you think it was the millennial generation whose parents first told them that the internet is forever, or is it Gen Z that first heard that from their
millennials?
Parents?
There was a Criminal Minds episode named "The Internet Is Forever." In like 2008. That's firmly millennial.
So your parents like said that to you?
My parents didn't.
No.
I probably told them that.
Oh, yeah, because I would assume
Dad, Mom, don't post that on Facebook.
It's actually the Facebook boomers that need to hear that the internet is forever.
Like, I get it. You don't like that person, but I don't think you can actually say that on the internet.
You can say those words.
Like, it's weird because I felt like in my have you ever seen the meme where it's like when like in the 90s, like don't talk to strangers, don't get into cars with strangers, don't talk to random people on the internet. Now use the internet to order a car to get into with a stranger. Like, the world has shifted so much.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be the idea that you weren't going to get a job. Like, I think they never imagined it was going to be because of what you said. In my generation, when people said like, watch out what you post on the internet, I think it was more supposed to be like you post debaucherous pictures at a party on Facebook.
Yeah.
That was what's going to
Right.
they're going to be like, a slutty Pocahontas costume? Not Disney, not so-and-so material for this company. Like, that's what they imagined what it was.
Because millennials did that. They like would go to a party, and then the next day, everyone would be posting albums of photos.
Yeah.
And that was actually really what people thought was a hiring risk.
Yeah, it was never like you were going to have
political opinions.
Yeah,
It was never that.
You know why? Because my generation didn't have strong political opinions unless you were part of the subculture that did.
Well, they did. It was just that there was such a consensus at the time. If we're talking about like the Obama era, especially, that it wasn't really something warranting conversation. Like everyone was just liberal.
I like the idea that you had that one friend who's like, you know what? I love George W. Bush.
No, the one friend who's like, you know what? I love John McCain.
Yeah.
I love Mitt Romney.
Dick Cheney was the man, okay?
Like the one hipster.
Dark Prince, take us home to Afghanistan. I love that guy. Like,
there's that one millennial hipster with suspenders at the, the beer hall with exposed brick walls, who's like super pro Mitt Romney.
No, at that time they would have been a libertarian. The hipster would have been he would have had
early 2010s.
I bet you in that time he would have been a Ron Paul guy.
I guess that would have been 2011.
Hipster political beliefs when hipsters existed would have been Ron Paul, like the Ron Paul revolution. And you know what it is? He's talking to you about fiat currency and ending the Federal Reserve. And you're like, I don't even know what fiat currency is. And like,
But it's exciting.
But this is, he's so enthusiastic.
And then the hipsters in 2015 liked Bernie.
Yeah. And even that's not really a hipster. That's just a response to like the disenfranchisement from like people who voted for Obama the first time, who are like, maybe we didn't get a strong return on our investment.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not wrong, bruh, on X said, make the argument for why women should vote if, according to you, women just like sorta can't accountability. LOL, women are shameless and do prawn, period. Period, queen.
Brian E in the chat says, no, Brett's wrong on this. The hipsters in New York back in the late 90s and early 2000s were hardcore lefties. So, like, you mean like farther left than a generic Obama liberal? Like, they were like communists back then. Like, I guess maybe it's just because I was like skating subculture. None of my friends seemingly cared about politics. It wasn't part of all our like culture. Like, I had friends that definitely did, but they were the exception and not the rule. I had friends that don't like that I work here now, that were strong fans of Obama, believe that he was the greatest president we ever had. They probably still believe that. I'm sure it's not like Joe Biden did anything to change the ranking system, I'm sure. But other than that, most of my friends, they just didn't really care about politics. But also, there was a romanticization of the struggle for youth in the early 2010s post Occupy and the financial crash. Like, you were living your life, and yeah, shit sucked. Gas was expensive. Like, gas was super expensive, and you were never going to own a home. Seemingly, it already felt like that way at that time. But it didn't feel like that was. You didn't tie that to a politician. You just tied that to politics, if that makes sense.
If a Republican were in office at the time, it absolutely would have been blamed on.
Yes, they'd never blamed when a Republican is in office, that person is responsible. When a Democrat is in office, the government is responsible, and no party is named.
Or no, corporations.
Yes.
Wall Street. In response to the super chat I read just now, I didn't make an argument for why women should vote. I would never do that. Like, for my entire adult life thus far, I have never, ever been pro women's suffrage or universal suffrage. So I don't know why you would assume that. Brian Bledsoe said, only have Paramount Plus through Walmart Plus.
The fact that you got Paramount Plus by way of Walmart Plus is incredible. You're the man.
That's crazy. Corey Anderson said Bud Dwyer was the pen politician that offed himself after being indicted of bribery and fraud on live TV.
I looked it up
with a 44.
I looked it up after somebody mentioned him. I'm like, is this a reference I should have gotten? And then I saw that, and I was like, yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said the interview with Harry was like Between Two Ferns, except more tarded and awkward.
I never liked that stuff. I don't like the intentionally awkward interviews. Z-Way is the same thing. No.
Some people do it better than others. Brian Bledsoe said, bet Jennifer Lawrence would try to throw subtle accusation at Chris Pratt with that intimacy comment because she would perceive him as MAGA coded. Did she do sex scenes with Chris Pratt?
I don't know. What were they in together?
I don't know.
Am I forgetting something like really big that like feels like it should be mainstream?
I don't know. Shane H. Wilder said, Peacock through my cell and Paramount from my ISP.
Okay.
Username I'm not going to read said, my only notes as a director would be happier. Okay, I'm not going to say that. Philip Reed.
They were in Passengers in 2016. I never saw it.
Oh, I forgot that even existed. Philip Reed, Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, as AD, you also get to yell quiet on set, roll sound, roll tape, even though we don't use tape, and use the clackboard.
That's awesome.
The clackboard is the biggest, like pro of the job, I think.
I think I could be a good first AD. I think I could do that.
I mean, if you have the control of the clackboard, like the power trip that you can go on with that, addicting. Yeah. Pop Culture Junkie said, I've seen a number of actors working scripts, and 90% of all the margin notes are to deal with the difficult mechanics of scenes shot out of order.
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Dingus Khan of Gongolia said, Facebook was awesome in the 2000s. All my friends posted photos drunk AF before we knew it would come back to haunt us.
Yeah.
Well, did you listen to your parents saying that the internet is forever? Weren't they saying that
there
at the time?
were photos of me like roaming at parties with a red Solo cup in hand.
Are they still out there? I guess don't try to go find them.
I don't
now.
have a Facebook anymore, so.
But the photos are on other people's walls.
I wonder if my photo bucket still works. I gotta go check my photo bucket.
And whatever happened to the feature where you post on somebody else's wall?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore on any site.
Yeah.
Do we have any Rumble rants, by the way?
I think that we're all caught up. Where somebody said Red Solo Cup. Yes. Well, Red Solo Cups became more famous after the fact because of the song.
What song?
The country song. It's called Red. I don't even remember who sang it.
Don't recall.
It's very annoying.
Okay.
Red Solo Cup. That's literally what it was called. It was called Red Solo Cup. Somebody in the chat probably knows who sang it. It's probably Kenny Chesney.
I have another story about like that same friend group in high school. After we didn't have prom, but after our version of prom, we went out for dinner.
Okay.
And the waiter at this restaurant kept lingering around our table trying to make conversation with us, and he was aware, of course, that we were high schoolers.
It was Toby Keith who sang that song. Sorry,
Okay.
to me.
And he was making a bunch of sexual innuendos the entire time that he was talking to us, and like grabbing himself, and it was like weird. And I was the only person who was like,
he was gesticulating.
Excuse me, does anyone else think that this guy is being creepy right now?
And you said it like in front of him?
Not in front of him, but when he walked away, and like everyone else was like, oh, like he's just being nice, like it's fine. And I was like, no, I don't think it's fine. So then the next day I called up the restaurant and I said, your waiter so-and-so was doing this. Well, like knowing that we're high schoolers, of course. I mean, it wouldn't be okay regardless, but I basically got the guy fired. And then I told my friends about what I did later. I was like, I got him fired. So
what did they say?
Then they were like, Mary, oh my gosh, like that's so mean. Like now he doesn't have a job.
Well, he's gonna have to go find another job and work to not grab his crotch there.
I was the bad guy for getting this guy fired.
So
I was the bad guy.
So he was making like lewd innuendo to you
about the food that we were ordering. Like I don't remember exactly what he said, but he kept making everything we said into like some sort of innuendo.
Well, it's 100% in line with your personality that you're the one who's going to go that way and not be willing to just keep quiet.
Yeah. And they were mad at me.
Yeah.
For getting him fired. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with you people. Like,
see if I help you guys again.
This is what's wrong with women, right? They're like, oh my gosh, like he was just being nice. Like, why did you even do that? Like, he's probably like sad and like doesn't have money now. Like, so what? Like, he'll find another job and he'll be a piece of shit somewhere else. He's not gonna lose out on like, what do you mean? He's gonna end up living in a barrel?
That's what they think, yeah.
I was just like, I was floored by that, but it taught me a lot about how women think.
Mighty Rax says he went on to be Benson Boone.
It's Benson Boone. And that, my friends, was international superstar Benson Boone. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Don't sue me. Greg Duvier said the shoulder of the road is for real crime. Disavow.
Yeah.
I cannot stand when people do that. Thankfully, not that much around here, but yeah, that is extremely dangerous and infuriating.
When I was driving home last night, because I had to do IRL after this, so I live about 45 minutes away, and you get out of IRL at like 11.
Depends on the night, but
so
yeah.
you're driving home and you're like trying to keep your eyes open. And I was coming up on this there's two bridges that I have to cross to get home, and in between the two, you're kind of like on the side of the mountain, basically. Mm-hmm. And a cop had someone pulled over. At first, I thought it was a DUI checkpoint or something, which does happen. Mm-hmm. And it's like he had these lights on. They were not traditional cop lights. They look like they were designed to get people to crash. Like they were like hypersonic and blinking all at one pace. and it was like something used to like make you stumble blind. If like it was in front of you, you wouldn't be able to see. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he just had a guy pulled over, and I'm like, I didn't know if I was supposed to go around him or not.
Yeah.
Like,
what did you do?
But I was like, I could barely keep my eyes open. I'm like, bro, this is gonna be it. Like, this is how I'm going. This is how it's gonna end for me. It's not good.
Shane H. Wilder said, May, as my dad used to say when, maybe he said Mary, as my dad used to say when doing the right thing, even though people disagreed, well, if someone's got to be the bad guy, it might as well be me. That's how I feel. That's how I still feel. But yeah, I lost patience for them that day. And they are just not the type of people that I can be friends with. Because if you're going to make me the villain of that story, like, F it. I'm not going to help you anymore. Evan King said, I'm pitching an original film idea for a ghost comedy to an independent producer. Do audiences still want original ideas? Small audiences want original ideas.
What's that? Ghosts. The show Ghosts has been running on CBS with like Rose McIver for like a gazillion seasons. It's on like season 6 now or season 7. Might have been canceled by now, but it's been on for quite some time. I'm sure there's an audience for it. What type of comedy?
I don't know what a ghost comedy is. Does that just mean all of the characters?
Maybe.
I guess.
I bet you there's an audience for it. More so than would be for say zombies, which are kind of passé now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you've not subscribed here yet already. I missed one Rumble rant. I can never pronounce this username. Thwedig. I can never. I'm sorry, man. I always mess it up, and you always explain what it is. I think it's Thwedig or something like that. I'm sorry. It says I have Paramount just for South Park. Yeah.
Get a better username.
Yes. Sorry about that, man. But thank you for that. Mary, where can they find you?
Of course, I'm going to remind you once again to go to castbrew.com and get Mary's Ghost Blend. You can use discount code Turkey20 for 20% off for Thanksgiving. You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived. I also want to let you know that I am going to be, I don't know how to explain this. I've never done this before. I'm going to do like a Q&A for the Discord members at 6:30, I think.
Believe that's when
Eastern,
it starts.
6:30 Eastern. I think that's when it starts. This is like the pre-show that they're doing for IRL recently.
Yep.
I haven't done it yet. Brett's going to join me as well. And we're also really excited for IRL. I'm going to be on IRL tonight, and so is Brett. And the guest is Zachary Levi, which is really exciting.
I've been at this company for over 4 years now. I can fanboy finally. I'm allowed to.
Are you going to ask him for a selfie even?
I think I will. I will.
I'll take the photo if you take my photo with him.
I've only had 2 photos taken at this company, I believe. At my request, I've only had 2 photos taken. I think that Zachary Levi absolutely warrants it. We were watching old episodes of Chuck last night in honor of today's appearance.
That's great.
Very excited.
Straight Rip in 93 said, does Brett like turtles?
I like turtles.
And we have another from Shane H. Wilder, I believe. Olivia and I told everyone to be on their best behavior tonight on Discord. I'll hop in and say hi as soon as I'm done directing the 5 p.m. news. Good. I hope that you're on your best behavior, all of you. If you're not, you're getting booted.
There you go. All right, guys, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. I do want to give you guys a heads up again that I am going to be doing another PCC weekend update this weekend. It might be a little bit shorter than last week, so we'll wait and see how that goes. But I do want it to hopefully be at least an hour long. That would be good. So again, if you want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We're here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can always rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. That's another great way to help the channel out. And if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show. Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.